A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Nerf Secret Revealed Aftersought. So out of all Rivals Blasters out there that we've gotten in 2020, which of them would you want that's kind of based off of the Chronos, but comes with its own magazine? If you answered Finisher, I could accept that. But the thing is, just like with some of the others that I've talked about, like the Oneros, which was actually called the Knockout, I still have these kind of gripes about these naming problems in which that Hasbro is just not consistent with the ideas that they apply to some of these lineups. Like, for example, the Rivals lineup was specifically well known for the fact that their names alone were pretty much in reference to that of mythology, including Roman and Greek historical figures in certain mythological history that we've had. And the Alpha Strike lineup, in case you haven't already noticed about the Stinger, which I call the Spinneret, because those blasters pretty much had names that had a lot to do with zoology, whether they related to animalistic related things out there, or they were just names of certain animal species in general. The Spinneret, which is pretty much just part of the spider's butt, that's pretty much the name I gave to that little blaster, whereas some of the others, they have names after some sort of zoology-based term out there, so you get what I mean? And the Ultra lineup pretty much had to do with numbers. Yeah. As simple as it is, I thought it was pretty good for what it was, because it tended to give us exactly what blasters would come out if and when. But as for this is what you'd call the Finisher, but by my accounts, this is the rival Deimos. Yeah. Yet another Greek or Roman related god out there in mythology. So, what can I say about this one in particular out of all the other Rivals blasters that we got? Well, it comes with its own clip, or magazine in this case. It does have a few interesting things about it, so just look at that. What other clip or magazine out there would have a little switch on it? And I actually found out at some point that, well, if you pretty much have it moved like this, then, well, you can actually open it up like that. I guess that's kind of clever to gauge how many rounds you have, or if you're planning to speed load it like this. So, yeah, you notice how loose it is in there, right? Because when the switch is all the way up, yeah, it just sprung back into place. So, if you're planning on speed loading, then this might be right up your alley, so please be sure to pick up a Deimos, if you will, at a Target or somewhere like that, depending on where you shop, naturally. I tend to go to any place I can to find as many new Nerf blasters as I can, but let's not talk a little bit more about that for now, because that's all you needed to know. It acts like the Chronos, with the top pump grip on the side over here. And, yeah. It sounds a lot better, though, than some of the others, because it sounds like the plastic-on-plastic contact is becoming a bit smoother, yet it seems to register similar FPS ranges compared to that of some of its other brethren. The Atlas, in case you don't already remember that review that I had uploaded not long ago, I talked a lot about the loud noises it made whenever it fired. But compared to this, I'd say this one really does a whole lot better in the auditory department when it comes to the plastic-on-plastic contact between the plunger end and the barrel itself. So, I'd say did a pretty good job on that part, but anything else? Well, as you can see here, look at the graphic that they applied to it. It's a nice little sort of glossy finish, some stripes here. That's some pretty impressive detail right there. And then of course there's XX700. It's something that Hasbro has applied to just about all of their rival blasters out there. I can never really understand what it truly means. According to some lore online, it kind of relates to how much rounds the clip would have, like 700 would refer to 7 rounds. I guess it makes sense because this does hold 7 rounds, so. But 700, I mean, that's a little confusing for me. I can never really understand that, just like how I can't understand most Roman numerals. yeah. I tend to go with American numerals. That's what I grew up with the most. So, anyways, I guess something else that's pretty good about this is that, well, regardless of if this thing is primed or not, you could remove the mag anytime, even while it's primed back, or even when it's fully primed and ready to fire. You probably don't even need the magazine for this. Just, well, it's up to you. Also, here's some more action on the unjamming over here. There's an unjamming button, and there's also a safety switch. Honestly, that clicking sound that it makes is pretty satisfying to listen to. Yeah, satisfying enough for me, but let's try something else. And go with a little invisible action, because after all, somehow this blaster can accept regular 7-round magazines or clips from other Rivals blasters, or of course it could also utilize the 12-round one. Now if that's not crazy enough, then well, yeah, handling this thing as if it were an MP5K from Black Ops 1. As a matter of fact, it kind of works like it too. Yeah, I just performed a little reload animation like it happened in Black Ops. Or even in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, where basically it goes like this, and then just load it in like that. And use this magazine as a grip if you wanna. But hey, regardless of which, I just like to say, first off, Deimos is pretty awesome for what it is. It's just your ordinary Chronos sort of blaster from the Rivals lineup, but it does have a lot of unique merits to it that have never been seen before. The fact that you can utilize both the unjamming button and the safety latch so close to the trigger, that makes it very convenient actually. I could just use my thumb over here, and if I reach far enough, well, I could simply reach the jamming button over here. Really easily. Really, really easily, as a matter of fact. Also, its orange clip is pretty unique amongst the many others that I've already seen so far. The fact is that, well, you could throw the switch all the way down to the bottom and it exposes the hole on the inside. So you could probably speed load this thing pretty easily. Then of course, just have it thrusted back up and then load it in. So, its satisfying nature and its overall functionality, plus its comfortable ergonomics, I give this thing a solid 9.1. Yeah, I'm being kind of generous today because I'm just pretty excited about how many good things have came up from this one in general. Out of all Rivals blasters, the Deimos is pretty much one that you should pick up at some point. Do tell. Well anyways, I've got a long road ahead of me right now, and there's certainly going to be a lot more that I'm going to have to talk about at some other point in time. Some other blasters I got are going to have to be talked about soon enough, so I guess I'll just spend some time getting to them. But if you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.